Hi. So, this is, as I say, there are videos that are unlisted, uh, daft movies that I made myself, more videos about me. So, if you ever get that interested, let us know in any of the comments that's been provided, and I'll see if we can send you a link if you're interested. Right, so I was just thinking about the Mel Gibson film Apocalypto, and I was thinking about Million BC of it, whatnot, those films, and you know, you had those tribes in Peru or whatnot, and they all worshipped these sort of satanic gods that sort of needed, you know, for somebody to get beheaded and sacrificed to their gods and stuff. And most of the gods that they worship, or the priestess, uh, through drawings or whatnot, always seem to be wearing a helmet of some sort of a mask, hat, or whatever that represents the people that they worship. And you think, well, where did they get these ideas from? You know, why did they feel the need to build these sort of pyramid shapes? Unless these shapes, these temples that they build, sort of, they could be a copy of something that they have seen, something that came down to them, or something like that. And you think to yourself, but that's a bizarre god that they followed. You know, this is it took years and years later, you know, before the right gods came along and wrote books, Bibles and the Quran and everything else, and we've now, you know, and that's why he appeared. And some books will say he, these messiahs or whatnot have came forward because they saw the injustice done to man, and that's why he made an appearance, so that these people could write a book and that we follow it, that we follow the word of God now. And when you sit and you listen to these things, you suddenly realise, wait a minute, are we just following, you know, some other that's written some rules, and we are obeying them blindly? Because okay, way back a million years ago or not, the ancient, you know, was it like El Dorado and the City of Gold? I mean, where did that legend come from? You know, City of Gold, was it a city of, you know, Atlantis, were these cities of culture, long lost, and they all worshipped whatever their gods, or was it aliens really? Because if you look at the sort of modern religion and stuff, and the way we live our lives today, what would I see in the world? I see racism is still there. Somebody in America got killed by a cop or something. Another time, there was, I read in the paper, some criminal in America is um, his mother's disowned him because he wants to go out and just kill gay people. He came in and shot them, and he will spend his time. He can't live a lie anymore. He wants to go around and kill all people that are homosexual, because it's just wrong in the eyes of God, and he can live with himself being that way. And you're thinking, that's how crazy religion can be. And that's because what it is, have we become more Christian? Really? Have we become more holy than the Bibles? Because we live in a world now where homophobic, people that are transgender, people of a different race and whatnot, we're all fighting against these things. And then you have the churches that are trying to change. There's all this talk about gay marriages and stuff like that, and allowing it. We've now allowed female priests or ministers or whatnot into the church, where years before it was forbidden for women. So, we have this women front coming forward that all men and women are equal. And then you look back on the Bible, and the Bible is saying most of this stuff is so wrong that God is totally against us. We have we have all this stuff going on. So this is the equivalent to thousands of years ago when people, were getting beheaded and sacrificed to their gods. This is roughly about the same thing. For me, anyway, because people are getting castrated. It was only 60 odd years ago that people with mental health were getting, shot to the brain with electricity, or people with gay were getting shock treatments and everything else. We're slowly sort of opening our eyes to the fact that everything we've been told in these so-called holy books is a lie. But the only reason that these holy books still going around is people just don't know. They have a fear of death, which I'm constantly saying, who cares about death? We're living in a society where they're telling us to stay indoors and not live our lives. We've got to get over this fear of death. And say, for instance, and most of us like to think that when we die, we move on to another experience. Let's just say that isn't the case, and when we die, it's a big black sleep. Well, let's start living life to the full and not be locked down by simple rules. Let's just live it, and if we die, let's just, people going skydiving and rock climbing and everything else, risking their lives. That's living. That's an experience. Being hateful against somebody because of the colour of the skin or by the way they act. We are just people in bodies that are so screwed up mentally and physically that we can't seem to, we hate what we don't understand. We hate what we don't take a minute to try and put ourselves in their shoes. We listen to books that were written thousands of years ago with the old ideas, and we cling on to them because they promise us that if we're good and we follow these rules, we're going to this heaven. But at the same time, if this is God that we're if these are the God's words, then why does he hate his own creation? Why does he hate people that are different from the so-called? It's like a Nazi book, the Bibles and the Quran and all that sort of stuff, because they don't really teach you to love every person because of who they are. If you do not conform to what these books are telling you, then you're evil in some sort of way, and then you should be stoned to death. I mean, seriously. So there hasn't been much changed since Lindsay, when we were sacrificing and stuff like that. Nothing has really changed. When you had these people going around the Spanish Inquisition and saying that you're a witch, you're again. Let's just kill these people. Let's drown them in water, and then if they survive, then they're a witch. Hello. So the only thing I can surmise is that billions of years ago, when all these people were about, there is a good possibility that aliens of some sort came down, really buggered our heads, right? Buggered our heads up, said worship us, live this way, and just for fun of it, I'd like to see what you're made of. It's basically the aliens equivalent to getting a probe up here. You know, they're examining our species, testing us, what they can do to us or manipulate us or everything else. But I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying if it's God, then whatever God you look at in every sort of text, every sort of book, he's a a-hole. You know, let's get two brothers fighting. Let's flood the world because my children are not listening to me. And then, of course, you always say that same thing. He works in mysterious ways. No, he's not. He gives, God or whoever gives him the Quran. And why not, if there is only one God, why not make it clear? Why have all these cultures, different people or different race have different religion? Why can you not just basically somebody come down and say, in a big flashing light, I am the one true God? But you know something? See, if that did happen today, I would still question it. I'd be like that bit in Star Trek, well, why does God need a starship? I'd be like, are you God? Are you some sort of a-hole alien from another planet that thinks that they can control me? Why should we pay you respect when you give kids cancer and then expect us to believe it, and we should get down on our knees and worship you because of all the great things you've done? No, I think you're just some weird blooming predator stroke ET out there that has been just playing us like guinea pigs. That's my thoughts for the day. Catch you later. Thanks for listening.